Good morning, everybody. I wanted to say a few words about my dear departed friend Art Dudley, who passed away yesterday around 4 a.m. from metastatic liver cancer, which he was given the diagnosis about a month ago. The Stereophile family knew, but sort of kept it close to our chest. Steve Guttenberg has made a really nice tribute video to Art, and if you go to the Stereophile website, you see wonderful remembrances by John Atkinson, Jason Victor Serenius, Herb Reichert, and Jim Austin, of course. I knew Art for a long time, not as long as some people. I forgot how actually we met. Through Jonathan Halpern, the Tone Imports importer who brought in Shindo gear, because Art and I had very similar rigs. We had the same power amp, the Haute Brion. We both had Shindo preamps. We both had DeVore Fidelity speakers. Art, a couple years ago, gave me a Thorns TD124 that had originally belonged to Cal Rubinson, who also wrote a little bit on the Stereophile website about Art. You know, Art was an incredibly gentle. It's funny, he seemed like a gentle soul, but he had very strong opinions, and he wouldn't take any shit. He knew who he was. He was a brilliant writer, a brilliant wordsmith. I like to think that Art knew the power of small gestures, both in writing and in life. He could describe how a screw fits into a bolt, and it would read like poetry. It would just flow. He never gave me a lot of direct criticism in my writing, but I read his writing constantly because his bar was so high, and to sort of learn how to do this, to review hi-fi gear, which I'm still reviewing all the time, and both Art and Jim Austin have been really, really helpful to me in that regard, been very patient trying to raise my bar. And his writing was so beautiful. He was just a great writer, period. He could have written about anything. He just had a gift, and it would flow. He came to my apartment once when we reviewed the Burwell speakers, these giant horn speakers. They were prototypes, but neither the distributor nor the publicist told us they were prototypes. We sort of found out, and so Stereophile doesn't review prototypes, so I did a review, and Art came down as well to do a review. Art came and sat in my apartment and listened, and he wrote the review in real time on the computer. I mean, that's how a high-level musician thinks or works. There's no disconnect. There's no mechanical juncture between your brain and your hands. It just flows straight out. And because he could write about what he heard effortlessly, and it was beautiful, and I was just shocked to see him sitting there writing the review in front of me. But Art, it was just a natural gift that flowed out of him, which was present in his own magazine, Listener, which he had, I think, for 5 or 6 years before he joined Stereophile in 2003. A very funny magazine, extremely well written. The magazine included Herb Reichert, Mike Trey, Steve Guttenberg, Adam Somer, audio individuals who are still working today. But Art was always exceedingly kind and generous to me. He gave me that turntable. And when we shot those videos that ran on my channel, and one of the videos is now on the Stereophile website, when we shot the video, Art had received the news about his diagnosis 1 hour before we shot the video. Outside, he didn't look too good, but once we got inside and started the video, you would never know he was sick or ill, but he laughed and made me laugh. He said to me while I was up there, he said, "Ken, you know, you changed my life." I'm like, "I changed your life? How did I change your life?" He goes, "Well, that time we went out to eat, last time you were here, we had breakfast, we had bacon and eggs and grits and all this stuff. You ordered rye toast. And now whenever I go out to eat breakfast, I order rye toast too. You changed my life in that way." And that was so funny and gentle and a small gesture that was funny. And he could do that in his writing. Just little turns of phrase were so powerful. He had full control of subtlety and the impact and power of subtlety. When laced together throughout an entire review can have a powerful impact. And he was, like Herb Reichert, he really understood the power of subtlety, and he was a brilliant writer. And we're all really going to miss him. I'm just glad that I got to know him for a few years and work with him. He was a great person. Rest in peace, buddy.